The shuttle's landing gear absorbed our descent with a soft pneumatic hiss as we touched down on Earth's surface. Through the viewport, I saw a landscape glowing in eerie blue-violet light. Twin suns hovered low, casting long shadows over the spaceport's crystalline towers. All passengers, disembark for processing, the automated voice announced. Welcome to Terth, home of the undefeated Guardians. I hoisted my duffel bag and joined the line of off-worlders shuffling toward the exit. As the airlock slid open, I felt it, heavier gravity pulling at my limbs, a metallic tang in the air, sharp like copper pennies on my tongue. This planet felt weighty, significant. First time on Terth? Asked a fellow passenger, a merchant with bronze skin and 4 eyes blinking in pairs. That obvious, huh? I said, adjusting my bag strap. You've got that overwhelmed look, he replied. Word of advice, keep your head down and follow their rules exactly. The Terth don't tolerate creativity with customs. Thanks, I said. I'm just a geological technician here for a 6-month mineral survey. Should be straightforward. He clicked his tongue, skeptical. Nothing's straightforward on Terth, especially for off-worlders. We were herded into a vast processing hall, its towering ceilings and walls pulsing with faint bioluminescence. The chamber split into lanes, each manned by stern-faced officials. Overhead, announcements echoed in multiple tongues. Attention, visitors. Observe these regulations on Terth. Direct eye contact with Guardians is forbidden unless permitted. Sudden movements near Guardians may be seen as hostile. Never attempt to touch or examine traditional Terth weapons. Violations may lead to expulsion or severe consequences. The lingering emphasis on severe consequences made my skin prickle. I fell in with scientists from the Century Collective, murmuring nervously. I've heard Guardians can kill with one blow, whispered a woman with augmented eyes that whirred softly. It's not just strength, said an older man with white hair. It's honor. Everything here revolves around their ancient code. Break it, and you're finished. Let's do our work and get out, said another. 6 months will pass if we stay low. I nodded, but anxiety knotted my gut. My tendency to joke or speak impulsively had landed me in trouble before, but never with stakes this high. After an hour's wait, we were directed to line up along a yellow stripe on the floor. A hush settled as Guardians entered through ornate doors. They moved with liquid grace despite their size, each at least 7 feet tall, with broad shoulders and powerful limbs. Their skin ranged from deep indigo to near black, adorned with luminescent patterns that shifted with their movements. The female Guardian at the front drew my eye. Her midnight blue skin shimmered with light, tracing her cheekbones and neck like constellations. Her hair, iridescent and metallic, was braided with beads and tokens. Battle honors, I guessed. Her armor was minimal but striking. Reflective shoulder guards, elbow-length gauntlets, and a chest plate of crystalline material, stronger than diamond. A short staff, etched with glowing runes, hung at her hip. The lead officer bowed deeply. Guardian Ica, we are honored. These are the new arrivals for clearance. Ica nodded, her face impassive. We will inspect them, she said, her voice deep, melodic, each word chiseled from stone. She moved down the line, her silver eyes cutting through each visitor. The gravity, travel stress, and warnings made my heart pound. As Ica approached, sweat beaded on my forehead. She was intimidating yet mesmerizing, her patterns glowing brighter as she neared. She stopped before me, her height forcing me to crane my neck. Her eyes narrowed, a faint scar visible along her jaw. Despite her fearsome presence, her focus held an almost ethereal beauty. Then it happened. You're actually pretty cute up close, I blurted. The words hung like a physical weight. The chamber went silent. Visitors stared in horror, officers froze, and the light seemed to dim. Aika's expression turned from cool assessment to cold fury. Her patterns flared and her silver eyes hardened. "You dare," she whispered, her voice filling the hall. Before I could apologize, she moved, faster than light itself. Her hand shot forward, fingers splayed in a precise pattern, striking my chest. The impact was like a star exploding. Pain radiated from the point of contact, shattering my ribs, driving air from my lungs. I flew 30 feet, crashing into the far wall and collapsing in a heap. Through pain and shock, I heard gasps and murmurs. Blood filled my mouth, my vision darkening. I thought I was dying, yet somehow I wasn't. With agonizing effort, I propped myself on one elbow. My chest felt crushed, each breath torture, but I was alive. The chamber was stunned. Aika stood where she'd struck, her face disbelieving. Other guardians closed in, hands near weapons. An elder guardian, his skin a deeper blue with complex geometric patterns, stepped forward. "This is unprecedented," he said, his voice resonant. "The Moonclaw has never failed to kill." Slowly I sat up, clutching my chest. "I'm sorry," I gasped. "I didn't mean disrespect." The elder approached, his silver eyes curious. "You are death-forged," he declared, his tone both awed and troubled. "No one survives the Moonclaw and lives." Aika stepped forward, hand on her weapon. "Elder Vexmore, this is impossible. The strike was true, yet he breathes." Vexmore replied, "You know the ancient law, Guardian Aika." Her expression darkened. "If that's required, I refuse." "You have no choice," Vexmore said firmly. "The Death-Forged must be protected by the one whose Moonclaw failed until judgment." Aika's jaw clenched, her patterns pulsing with anger. "Then I'll escort him to the Temple of Judgment now." "After treatment," Vexmore corrected. "The trial cannot proceed with him so injured." Medical officers helped me up. As they led me to the medical wing, I caught Aika's glare, pure rage, as if I were the vilest creature. Thus, I, a reckless geological technician, became bound by Turth law to the warrior who'd nearly killed me. The medical chamber was unlike any hospital. Shallow pools held glowing, gel-like liquid. The walls pulsed with soothing light. "Immerse yourself," an officer said, indicating a pool. "The recovery matrix will heal you." With help, I sank into the warm, honey-like substance. It glowed brighter around my chest, dulling the pain. Elder Vexmore entered, his figure imposing. "You should have died," he stated. "Sorry to disappoint," I replied, unsure how to respond. A sound, perhaps a laugh, escaped him. "The Moonclaw is a sacred execution for grave offenses. Properly delivered, as Aika did, it severs body from spirit. No one survives." "What's death-forged?" I asked, wincing as my ribs shifted, healing. "Our texts speak of rare souls who resist severance," he said. "Only 3 are recorded. You seem to be the 4th. "I'm just a human from Earth," I protested. "Nothing special." "That remains to be seen," Vexmore said. "Aika is bound to you until judgment at the Temple of Judgment. If you pass, you'll be honored. If you fail, Aika may finish what she began." The stakes were clear. Pass or die. "Where's the temple?" "Beyond the dead waste, 3 days' journey," Vexmore said. "The journey is part of the trial, full of dangers." "Great," I muttered. He paused at the door. "Your condition makes you valuable. The Syndicate, criminals dealing in forbidden Turth artifacts, would capture or kill you for study. A Death-Forged is a rare prize." With that, he left. I soaked in the gel, lamenting my ruined contract. After hours, my chest felt intact. Officers gave me Turth garments fitted for humans. Aika waited outside, rigid and furious. She gestured for me to follow. We walked crystalline corridors, others avoiding us. I tried to speak, but Aika ignored me. At an armory, she selected gear. "I want to apologize," I said. "I didn't know your customs. It was careless." She paused, then continued. "I know you're angry," I pressed. "You know nothing," she snapped. "Your words bound me to you through unbreakable laws. My honor is tied to a weakling who doesn't grasp his offense." "Help me understand," I urged. She faced me, eyes piercing. "Cute implies weakness, insignificance. To call a guardian that is a grave insult." I winced. "I meant it as a compliment." "Ignorance doesn't absolve you," she said. "I must protect the one who dishonored me and guide you to judgment." She handed me a flexible metallic suit. "Environmental protection. The waste will kill you without it." "When do we leave?" "First light tomorrow. 3 days. Don't slow me." A Turth officer spoke to her in their language. Ika stiffened. "What was that?" I asked. "Syndicate activity near the waste," she said. "We may face resistance." The mention of bounty hunters chilled me. "We'll be vigilant," she said. "If you fail, I'll finish the Moonclaw." Turth's dawn was alien. Twin suns, crimson and yellow, rose, painting the landscape purple and gold. Ika waited at the city's edge, her armor shimmering. "You're late," she said, though I was on time. "Sorry," I replied, wearing the suit. She led us into the dead waste, a crystalline desert with jagged rocks. "Stay within 5 meters," she said. The suit filtered the metallic air, but gravity made movement hard. I tried talking. "How long have you been a guardian?" Silence. "I've been a technician 7 years, mostly Mars and Jovian moons." Nothing. "We're together 3 days. Might as well talk." Ika stopped, glaring. "Your chatter wastes energy. The waste is dangerous." A gust of crystalline dust hit my suit, proving her point. "Are these conditions natural?" I asked. "Both," she said. "The waste formed during the Great Severance, when our ancestors fought the Void-Bearers, altering this region." "Who were the Void-Bearers?" "Ancient enemies. That's enough." We trekked under blazing suns. At midday, Ika stopped at a shaded rock formation. "Rest. Hydrate." I sat, sipping from my suit. "Thanks for stopping," I said. "Your collapse would delay us," she replied, but her lips twitched. A smile. "Your skin patterns," I said. "What do they mean?" After a pause, she said, "Soul grafts, lineage, achievements, spiritual essence. Each guardian's is unique." "They're impressive," I said, correcting, "in complexity." She gave a knowing look. A mechanical whine broke the moment. Ika tensed. "Raiders, move." We rushed through a pass, engines nearing. Ika pulled me behind a boulder. "Stay down, they may pass." 6 figures on hover vehicles approached, their armor patchwork, not Turth. "Syndicate mercenaries," Ika whispered. One pointed our way, and they closed in. "So much for stealth," I muttered, gripping my pistol. Ika's patterns blazed. "Stay behind me," she ordered, drawing her staff, a device with glowing components. The leader, cybernetically enhanced, shouted in an unknown language. Ika's sharp reply drew laughter. "They want you," she said. "They think I'm your jailer." "Could you pretend to comply?" I suggested. She glared. "Guardians don't deceive." "Right, Honor." Her plan. She'd attack, I'd cover. She charged, felling a raider with a staff strike. I fired at flankers, my training guiding me. Ika was a blur, her staff striking precisely. 3 fell, but 1 grazed her arm. I shot another's leg, giving Ika an opening. A raider threw a device that detonated, disrupting my suit and slowing Ika. The leader charged with an energy blade, cutting her side. Blue blood flowed. Ika dropped low, staff twirling, patterns pulsing. "Get down!" she shouted. I ducked as she slammed her staff into the ground, unleashing a shockwave. Sand crystallized, impaling or scattering raiders. Ika leaned on her staff, clutching her wound. "Check survivors," she said. The leader, pinned, was alive. "The Syndicate knows of the death forged," he rasped. "Commander Vex wants you for study, or pieces." He died. Ika urged movement. I bandaged her wound, learning Vex was an exiled guardian. We salvaged supplies and continued. Ika softened, answering questions. At dusk, a cry echoed. Ika led us to a cave. We set a barrier field and Ika took watch. "Thanks for saving me," I said. "I'm bound to protect you," she replied, softer. I slept, watching her patterns glow. Day 2 brought drones. The terrain worsened, suns scorching. We crossed a glass plain, heat burning my boots. A Syndicate aircraft appeared, forcing us to a glass outcropping. 4 operatives descended, led by a Turth exile. Ika fought 3. The leader pinned me, revealing Vex's interest. I stabbed him with glass, and Ika finished the rest. "You fought well," she said. We camped in a crevice, where Ika explained soul graphs channel life energy. I felt her respect grow. Day 3, the crystalline maelstrom loomed. Ika called it a temple guardian. Her patterns synced with the environment. Syndicate forces had reached the temple. Ika scouted, confirming Vex's presence. We triggered a maelstrom surge with conduit crystals, creating chaos. We ran to the temple, a blackened crystal structure. Vex intercepted. Ika fought him, but he struck her wound. I leaped between them, taking a blade strike. It burned but didn't kill, proving my death-forged nature. We entered the temple as the maelstrom closed in, facing arbiters. In the trial, I entered a liquid crystal pool. Patterns like soul graphs covered me, linking me to Turth's history and Ika. I emerged healed, faintly marked. The arbiters deemed me worthy, transforming Ika's duty into a bond. As Syndicate attacked, we were sent to warn the city. Ika gave me a warrior crest, acknowledging my honor. On the crystalline mesa, we awaited transport, joking about my words. Our bond promised a shared future.